note your points, Metaverde, and then we will get back at them later in the meeting. So shall we start with intentions and instructions? The instructions and intention for this meeting, on my case, is to make a quick run of the results of this week. And my instructions I have none at the moment. I will pass it on to Tam.
Hey. So my intentions for today is to check in, see where we are with onboarding. I love the agenda we have, so I have nothing to add to it. But my distractions are, well, you know, I'm still in the middle of boxes half opened everywhere, and I've just made a makeshift office for myself. So I'm a little bit more at ease now, having a space to work, but it's still distracting living in a half moved in apartment. So that continues to be my distraction, but letting it all go. Focused here now. And I will pass to Metaverde.
My intention is to be present for the meeting, and my distraction is I have a friend who's my Linux geek friend who wants to always install hacking software on my old computer because it can take it. And I always say, no, we're not doing this. Is in from Belgrade for a day. And so I'm going to go visit with him this afternoon before he flies back out. That's my distraction.
My intention for the call, is to check in and sing with you guys. And my distraction, I feel my internet is working weird, but hopefully at least the voices, sometimes the cameras are getting, blurry and stuff, but the voice is good, so all great. I'll pass it back to you, Edu.
Thank you. We are strangely enough few people today. I don't know if it's too early. I don't think it's too early, but we will start anyways. So we can start with basically the updates on hatches and proposals. The first point is the hatching of ourselves. So regarding the hatching of ourselves, we were onboarding on Sunday with Ham, two other members, not members, they work with Common Stack. So they were sort of on the satellite aspects of the TEC. And then basically there are a couple. One, it's a system engineering developer, and the other one, it's a web developer, basically. And they developed the store from where Tam got her cap. And hello, my Mace. Welcome to the morning working group session. So basically, we onboarded them, and then we noticed certain confusions regarding the documents we were using and so on. So we sync the documents, and right now we have 3 documents. One is a frequently asked question. The other one is a script for the script that we co-created with Griff that has also the list of people who has been recommended. And then we have another one, which is the notes of every meeting, where everyone can take a look at it and see how was the meeting with onboarding everyone. So regarding the list of the people that was recommended, I don't know if you have access to this document, Metaverde. I will just share briefly my screen. Just give me a second. Here it is. I will share my screen. So basically, this document was a document that was created on December 28th on a meeting with Griff, Jake, and Tam. And we basically pick first 2 audience for onboarding. I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you see it? Okay. So, and then we came with this script that has different aspects of it, like a space for questions, individual requirements, and so on. So this was more of an onboarding document for people who were part of the Trusted Seed list. So at the bottom of this document, there is the recommended possible hatches and proposals. So I'm so sorry, Metaverde, but you may see like there's a lot of list of people we need to reach out. And then at the bottom, we were adding the people who were just mentioned in different sessions with different other peoples of the community and so on. So we were like in hands, to say the least, reaching out people. Hello, Shanaida. Welcome to the onboarding working group session. So as I was mentioning, Metaverde, so this is the list. We are right now sending out messages. So we will, as you mentioned, we don't want to leave anyone exposed or in a bad spot with any kind of relationship you may have built in our favor. So what we'll do is that today I will reach them personally and I will just explain briefly, and we'll keep trying to gain their trust back and see how it goes. And to sort of take that leverage out of your relationship with them, I will just express them like, hey,
I'm not worried about my relationship with them personally, but I'll make the point that it really doesn't take that long to send out messages to even 100 people that you're considering them and that you will get to them, and maybe possibly set up an appointment. I mean, this is not the first project I've been on, and this is not the first time I've done outreach. And I understand that it's a long list and people are busy, but like I could send a canned message to all those people, and then they would have been reached out to, and they wouldn't be sitting there wondering what's going on.
Yeah. The issue is not so much of reaching out; it's the following up and then the bandwidth that we require in order to set up these meetings and then execute them. So we are dealing with this. Remember that we are just starting with this process, so we are learning, and this is the important part because we take in consideration this feedback that you give to us about timing. And this is something that we should be really constructive about it, because it will help us to understand.
You can send a message that says, "Hey, I understand you're interested in being a hatcher. If I don't get back to you within a few days, please ping me." You can send that message, and then they know that you've heard them and you're thinking about them and understand that you're busy. And we talked about this like last week in the meeting before I even had the thing where I suggested people.
Let me write that down. Can you repeat the message that you just mentioned? The one that you said.
I understand you're interested in being a hatcher for the token engineering commons. That's really terrific. I'm super busy at the moment. If I don't get back to you in a few days, please ping me.
So one of the things that I'd like to chime in here with is that we have a list. We ask people, like we have a list that we're going through of people that are already in the trusted seed. And it's quite a long list, and it's taking us a little time to go through. And we do ask for recommendations because the people that we're onboarding as hatchers are people that we think are, really great community members, like you, Metaverde. So people that you recommend, we actually take quite seriously. But we don't take those recommendations and necessarily like put them on the top of the list, and maybe that's where this disconnection is coming from.
I'm not talking about top of the list. I'm talking about getting back to everybody who's interested in a timely manner. I mean, there's a real disconnect here on expectations. I mean, like if I tell somebody that I've recommended them for something, I'm not going to recommend somebody for something and not let them know they've been recommended for it. I'm not going to tell somebody, or I'm not going to give somebody's name, hey, this person would be great for this job, without telling that person, oh, by the way, I let so-and-so know I think you'd be great for this job. I don't want them to get blindsided. I don't want them wondering where the weird text or message or whatever came from, right? So I let them know. When I recommend somebody, I let them know. And so then they're looking for at least an acknowledgement that the recommendation was taken seriously, that they're being considered, that something's going on.
I hear you.
And it's not, I've done this. It's not that hard to just send out a quick message. Hey, we're busy, ping us back. And then you have established contact and you've got some kind of dialogue that's at least started. And then they'll be reminded, like when they're looking at their DMs, they'll go, oh, that's right. I was interested in token engineering commons, and they'll ping you. They won't go find another project, which is what my friends are doing.
All right. I hear you. We will take this as a constructive process. So as I mentioned again, I apologize for this kind of confusion. Now I understand completely how is your process recommending people. So we will acknowledge it for further situations like this.
Yeah,
So
I'm not weird in how I do this. This is how everybody I know does it, and we all get back to people right away. So I understand and I accept the apology, and I know that you're working on the process and doing better in the future. I get that. Okay, I get that. I understand that I'm not the strange one here. I'm not the one that's out of bounds in this particular thing.
it's okay. Okay, so we will put this in agenda and we will consider it for next time. So moving on from this topic, welcome Griff, welcome Jake. How you doing, guys? So I will rewind a little bit for Griff because mainly I changed a little bit, tweaked the document of the script that you had. So for you to let you know, well, it was just a small change. I basically connected the three documents we had. We had the script that we created with you. We had a document created by Tam, which is the local, let's say, Hatcher script. And we also have a frequent asked question document. So in every of these three documents, I linked in between them. So Griff, if you go to the, I will share my screen. If you go to the script that you used to use for onboarding Hatchers, you will see that at the top, there is the notes that are from other meetings. And you will see that there is a Hatchers onboarding frequent asked questions. And then I just basically divided the document in the script and then the second part, which is the recommended possible Hatchers and proposals. And I moved your notes that you had to this document, which is to share notes means with the Hatchers. So basically, this is the document originally from Tam, and we have the notes from every meeting, so we can kind of fit and understand how it goes. And from here, I took the main questions that people were pulling out, and let me here, and then I put these questions that were more often come from the meetings on the onboarding, which were timeline and hatching in the project, how CatCat is successful or can be successful, the Swiss Association membership, how do I have to pay it? Is it yearly? Is it yearly? Will the scholarship still apply? And the implication of being a hatcher. These were the main 4 questions I got from the meetings, but I would like to have feedback on this and try to build up a better frequently asked questions. And then if we can on this meeting, briefly try to get a kind of a consensus answer for these questions so we can have a common script on that sense. So do you all guys agree to this? Okay.
I just have a timing issue that I only have about 10 more minutes in the call.
Perfect. Then this is the perfect timing for this. Besides these 4 questions, does anyone else have any other question that was popped out constantly on the meetings? Pam, for example, do you think any other questions that we should add here?
There certainly are. I'd have to go through some notes to find those questions, and inside our notes where we what do I have? Are the membership dues annual or one time? I mean, yeah, there's a number of questions. I think it might, I mean, I can add to those async, or I don't know that the best use of the time is going to be for me to say them and us type them at the same time. Maybe we could either all hack on that document together or contribute to an async.
Jake, what about you?
Some things in.
I have one that isn't asked because I always prompt it, but it's like, why do you need the soft commit now? And we always, it's just part of the script, but I hope it's part of every script. Where it's like, we need the soft commit because we have to pick this parameter of the minimum raise, and it's just like it always needs to be there.
Okay, this is the kind of exercise I wanted to do now exactly because of this. We all went through this hatcher process and we have different situations. And some people like Grave prompt out this before being asked, but other people never ask this. And I think that sometimes by not being asked this question, they ignore also little bits of the process. So this is why for me it is relevant. Jake, do you have any other question or any other like that came around in your meetings?
No. I guess my main thing, no, I don't. Our script is kind of a living thing. So we're adding and doing as we go. So far what we have has been great. The only thing that I may add would be for later when we're actually looking outside the community, but we're not there yet. So I think what we're doing right now is awesome.
Perfect. So basically the questions kind of topics were time frame, legal like process, and the implications, the implications or questions regarding the process. These were the main topics. I think as the process gets developed, then more questions will rise. So I want to keep this document around, so we will always have this as a reference. As Tam mentioned, feel free, Griff and Tam, to also sort of fill the blanks of this document with async, so we can have like work on this while the time pass by. Just
Yeah, I want to add something. Even if you have questions that you don't have answers to, this is also a great document to put them in, because then we could have a look at them and answer them. And this is the document that will be informing the article for how to become a hatcher. So it's going to be quite an important document. And within, I would say, between the end of this week and early next week, I'll try to contribute as much as I can to it, as well as anyone who else has some time to put some questions and answers in there. That would also be good for a FAQ that we can make public, as well as for informing the article for how to become a hatcher.
exactly. This document is meant to be public. That's why I took it from the notes and separate the private information that it's a recommendation that people do, and put it together in a Griff document that it's a document that not everyone has access to it, and it's mainly private and accessed privately. So that private information is kept separately. The other question that I had, Griff and Tam, mainly Griff, where do you put the self-commitment response or amount? That's why I put in the agenda self-commitment document, not because it has to be public, but just to be aware that if we do onboarding without Griff or without Tam, where do we put this amount?
You would send it to me. So Craig, me, and Tamara all have access to that document. And so when you get a soft commit, just DM one of us. Because this document is where we keep all of the sensitive information, and it's yeah.
Perfect. That's all the other question I had.
Do you guys have other soft commits to DM? I can add them now, and we can report a number.
No, we had the last meeting on Sunday with Tam. So she was in that meeting, and then I have a meeting with Igor regarding this, but he is still due to read. He showed me the link that you sent him about the trusted seed link, and then he's like, "Oh, I forgot completely about this message. I will do it, and then I will come back to you for a soft commitment or for because he came to the hub, so I did the onboarding personally, let's say, in a way. So that's on that side. And Lorenzo also, the onboarding is personal, so I will send you probably soft commitments later on this week. So yeah, so that's in that matter.
Well, just then to really quickly update, we have 21 people have given soft commits for a total of almost $137,000. So,
oh, wow.
Doing well.
Good job. Quickly before you leave, Griff, do you have any more onboarding people? Like, have you onboarded more people this week? Do you have schedule? Do you need help?
No, I got very distracted with the F Denver talk, but that's over in an hour and a half. and then I can take more of my free time to talk to the hatchers.
Perfect. That's
I feel like I did onboard someone, but I'll have to look to see.
That's okay.
Was it
Quickly,
Coach B?
It was. Thank you, Tim.
give me a second. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm writing down something. Griff, before you leave,
Oh,
do you have
and Adam Reese. And I am onboarding James Duncan later tonight. I forgot. I have James Duncan.
You are not so distracted then. I wanted to know.
We do need to onboard quite a bit though. For expected impact hours, we need to like crunch down. We need to get more for predicted impact hour cost. Like we need to do a lot more.
Okay.
I
How
know
much?
Griff's busy, and I know that he knows these people, and that's awesome. And we all need to like look. We're starting this process of getting involved inside, and we need to finish that. And we also need to have the necessary material and data because we need to get the fuck outside. Because we're not going to be able to do enough with what we're doing just as is in order to make this like what it can be. We are doing great stuff. I'm not saying that, but we need to get after this if we're going to actually make this be what it can be.
I think we have some easy wins for sure within the community. A lot of them. I don't think Livia's been onboarded.
Yes.
Oh no! Damn it, she was. Damn. Well, Eduardo, I don't see you onboarded yet.
I was onboarded too.
Oh, you did? I don't have the soft commit yet.
I did make a subcommit too.
Oh, okay. Well, then we might have onboarded more people than we have tracked. Then that's a good sign.
Not that it will make such a difference to Livia and I on the mixed picture. Jake, how many? Give me a roll number of how many people more is needed and time frame.
Well, if we are gonna actually launch, let's say early April. Let's say early April. If we can just to get $10 to $15 impact hour right now, we need $250,000. This needs to be known. This needs to be understood because it's up to us to make that happen.
Okay.
Okay.
We are halfway there.
Yeah, we're close. That's why I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm not depressed. I'm just saying we need to keep going and we need to do what we need to do. You know what I mean? And I would really appreciate more material in some retrospect. And I'm working on my own too, because going outside is going to help a lot. But right now there just really isn't. So I guess I'm just trying to state that we're doing really well, but we need to concentrate on getting some of this other source material done as well, not just looking inward the whole time. I guess that's what I'm stating. That's what I'm stating.
Okay. What kind of material?
Okay, hold on. Excuse me. Disculpe. Say it in. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't really have anything to show other people yet because we don't have actual products. And we need to have something. If anybody can give me something to help with that, that would be great. Now, go ahead.
I think the hatching, the tech brams is looking pretty sexy. And hopefully we can get that out to people and show people that because it looks super cool.
The game, you mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's So there's a few things, I guess. There's a Swiss membership app, which is in its last round of testing. Everyone is welcome to play with it and apply for a scholarship as well. Also, there is the game, the Commons Simulator, which is super cool, and that should come out. But then there's like the not game. We're actually doing the Commons Simulator for real right here. Your economy, your choice. The stuff that Vitor, YGG, and Santi and Jake and I are working on, which is like this really cool, like design your own economy.
I have a quick question, and this is a very rough, probably I don't know how to say it in another way, but why don't we have a simple explanatory video like the game? Like the game for me, it's cleverly, it's explanatory, but it takes a while until you go through everything. But why don't we have a simple video of a minute that explains the TEC in just like a dummy way? Not a dummy way, but like, these kind of videos for dummies, kind of thing. Like I lack, and this is something I share with Jake, I lack the content when people ask me about it, because some people are technical and they can, for example, I'll just briefly take out this and have perspective. When we had this meeting with Nicolene and Ludo, Tam, Ludo understood everything. Nicolene didn't get it because she is more visual. And even though she works within the parallel of the common stack, she didn't get it. And it took me an hour and a half later to explain to her personally. But if we have this kind of briefly explained visual aspect that we can just share to everyone we invite or we have to onboard, I think it will help a lot, because it will also save us time. The same way you're a company and you just send a brief about your project, a brief of a PDF with 5 pages, it's the same thing we need for the TEC, and we don't have it, at least as I know. So my question is there something like this?
I mean, I think we're working on the onboarding video. Maybe, I mean, yeah, it's still going very slow, but I think that should help.
Yeah, I think that we can really improve the identity of the TEC and really like nail it down. I don't think that we've done a great job at explaining, oh, we're going to be an economy that advances the field of token engineering. We're going to be something like an economy that does the same work that the IEEE does for an engineering science. And making these kinds of like very simple, this is what we're doing even.
Quick question, Septimus. Who do we have like a for which sprint or a due time, or who is championshiping, or however you say that, this onboarding video?
We can't hear you.
Sorry. It's going a bit slow, but I think we should start with the interviews anytime soon. But Jess is leading it, so we should ask her.
Do we have a document that I can show people when they ask what being a hatcher involves? I was looking around, I couldn't find anything on the forum or just searching around.
Yeah, at the bottom of the document, I can send you, because it's in these documents I shared before. There is a link to become a hatcher post. I personally think the game, it's very explanatory on that, and it's really useful for understanding what a hatcher is. Probably not everyone wants to take that path and go through the game, but I think
you just said it was kind of difficult to get into, right?
No, it's just that people doesn't have time sometimes for go through the entire game. They just want to do something. They want to know something very specific, and that's it. So, but I will get that document for you, Metaverde, after finishing this call. So that's it. We are gonna. I will try, Septimus, to work with Jessica to try to see how we can. Oh, you have to leave. Okay. Quickly. Any suggestion for a change of the name of the onboarding working group, Griff? How will you call it otherwise?
I think it should say hatch in it, and it should include projects and hatchers. So like,
all right,
I don't know.
That's it.
I don't know. I had something, hatch coordination, I had something with Tam. I don't remember what I put it.
All right, that was it.
I think we're going to
Give me
continue
a
to
second.
riff on
Thank you,
that,
Griff.
and
We'll
also
write
in
that
the
down.
next meeting too. So there'll be some feedback at the end. Ciao.
Bye, guys. Wish me luck at Denver in like 40 minutes.
You're going to kill it.
I gotta 40 minutes make it through my
You're
talk.
going to kill it.
I gotta make it through my talk.
You don't need any help, bud. You don't need any help, bud.
We got some
Oh,
echoes
sorry,
going
I
on.
was
in
running
this
out of batteries. All right, he mentioned the name could be Hatch on projects. Okay, we can jump into this since I asked this to Grave. Anyone else have any other suggestion for changing the name or any name that can be suggested for changing the name of the onboarding working group? Meta Verde.
Oh, I was just gonna say hatchers. Or hatching the hatchers, but that's all I got.
Septimus.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I go last.
Okay, Jake. Are you there, Jake?
No, yeah, I am. I was busy trying to coordinate My Little Ponies. Anyways, onboarding the hatchers. Oh God, I'm working on this all the time anyways. So no, I don't have anything clear right now because it's like every time I talk to someone different, it changes. So God, I really wish I did. I kind of feel responsible for this somewhat. I apologize.
I have the idea that I will call it the Hatch Group.
That's
Because-
fine. Anything at this moment would be great, considering that there isn't anything. That's I've made some great contacts with some other people completely outside of this as well, continuing, and then they always come back at me with the same thing. Well, what do you got? Send me something. Shit. And that's why this is hard. I guess I'm kind of venting my own frustrations because it's like, damn.
I think that since we are in comms now, Jake, this is something we can actually be working with Jess, as Septimus mentioned on the onboarding video. I think this is something we could actually kind of understand that that's one of the missing pieces of our onboarding process. We already have the script. We already got the list of people, and we are getting to the point that there will be people that don't know much about it, or they have just a vague idea of it, and we can either confuse them more, or we can either try to work on this onboarding video to make it clear as we are getting to that point where we will be needing this more often.
We could update the forum too. There's a post called "Become a Hatcher" that has absolutely no information that's been under construction since December. It's not funny. And I mean, I'm looking for information and I'm finding dead ends over and over and over again.
Yes, the how to become a hatcher. I will explain you briefly about that. That post got deleted. It had information. It got deleted because of the legal situation that we were solving. And then since we didn't want to put information that people will stick to it and then had to be changed, or people who were promised something on how to become a hatcher and it had to be changed. So that's why we took down.
I mean, I don't know. I would suggest removing it until there's something in it.
Sure. Okay, we'll write that down. So I will call the hatch. This working group, I will call it the hatch simply because we are, that's how I will call it, mainly because we are taking care of everything that goes around the process of hatching, including people, including projects, and probably the following up eventually after the hatch. So for me, that will be the name of it. So I will take the word onboarding out of it, mainly because I feel it's confusing, just the word, because people only read the first word. So I don't know what you
No,
guys
I'll
think.
make the point that the onboarding working group on the forum also says that it's for onboarding new members, not just for hatchers, that it includes new members. So it's not that people are just reading the first word. It's that the information is inconsistent across the different platforms.
Okay.
Because the and I brought this up at an earlier meeting, I don't remember last week or yesterday, that when you go to the forum and look, that the onboarding working group does say that it's for onboarding members as well as people for the hatch.
Perfect.
Maybe now is not the moment, but if you're calling hatchers, but after the hatch, this working group is going to be looking for proposals, right? Or is it going to be gone after the hatch?
Yeah, but you can hatch proposals too. You know, you're hatching an nest egg for something, right?
Yeah, I mean, after the hatch, there will be a process where you have the different process of the proposals. So we will take care of the proposals also. But I think onboarding people externally outside the community that will be something that will be also, oh, God's sake, will be always in need to be happening. What a confusing phrase. Anyways, so yeah, I think probably the name will change, but as it is now, yeah, something regarding hatching will be probably needed. Tam, do you have any feedback on it?
Yeah. You know, I agree with Zeptimus because it does include projects too. So maybe hatching, like something that includes both hatching and proposals could be interesting. But I also think the hatch group is quite simple. And we can look at it from that perspective. It's just like, this is the working group that gets us to the hatch, including hatchers and proposals. And then this group dissolves and something else, a new working group is born. And that working group might actually be onboarding, ironically, because then we will be onboarding people into the community, if you know what I mean. And then maybe that will be, there'll be something separate for the continuation of working with the community for submitting proposals. So we can actually.
Speaking of that, we do need to get on the onboarding for the Discord, on forming a group to do that.
All right.
I mean, that's like a serious thing. Like, actually, there have to be people there to help people get on it, no matter how obvious or how simple you think the process.
Yeah, you're right. On that. Okay, this was just a little exercise to have certain names coming up from this meeting. So in the communities to our call, we can have the change a little bit smoother. So that's why we're doing this little exercise now. So did anyone go to the AMA call? I had a call with conversation with Livy, who will lead this call of AMA every Wednesday, one-on-one. She will lead this time, I will lead next time, and so on. We will be exchanging the leading of the AMA call, so we all have like a quick look of the community and be part of that. So, did anyone go to this AMA? Anyone has feedback on it?
Yes, I did, and I didn't get there for the whole thing, but I was there for a majority of it. It was fantastic. There were new people that showed up. It did exactly what you wanted it to do, Eduardo. It was great. Yes, it was fantastic, and I see it being what you want it to be for ongoing.
Can we praise Livy for that?
Yeah, you damn well better. Yeah. No, as far as there was some great contribution. We actually even ended up meeting up with someone new completely that is a part of block science. So it was fantastic. Okay, that's my son. Wow. If you don't have kids, I kind of feel bad for you, honestly. I kind of do. Like, I don't even know how to describe what just happened, but wow.
It can be quite difficult.
Yeah, anyways, yeah, it was great, Eduardo. Give Livy a bunch of praise.
Perfect. So I also have a question. I met with a group of EJTX for a proposal on Monday. And this is a question open to everyone that I will also ask to Jess and to Griff. They basically, do we have an order? Like, someone has to present a proposal in order to be in a community call, or they can be in the community call without making a proposal. These guys are creating an omnipool basically for tokens, and he explained me the entire process is quite complex, and they are trying to have token engineering playing with their model and trying to see and have feedback on it. And I think it's very relevant. I had a conversation also about that like months ago about the same idea. So I feel that tool that they are doing is very helpful for the token engineering community, but I don't know if they will propose because they're extremely busy. So my question is, do we like embrace them even though they're not going to propose, or how do we tackle this?
I can answer that. So to date, the idea of the spotlight and the community call was to allow the community to see the projects that they were going to be voting on. So it had been to now to share some information so that they could make a vote and they could go see some more information about it. So I would check in. Maybe that's something that we can also discuss on the stewards call, if that's the process we want to keep or if we want to change it. But that was that was what we were doing it for.
And if I'm not wrong, this guy was on the Levy call just an hour ago. He was the Hydrex. Yeah, he was there, and so he was the co-founder. And yeah, I feel it like if he was there, he can also present if he have time to be on this call. I think, and that would be super cool.
Yeah, I invite him to be present on that call. Because yeah, we had that meeting and he explained everything. But I don't know, I was just like trying to understand, because we will have this kind of probably other people who will, as we are launching, as we are getting deeper into it, people who also will want to have feedback or be part of the community, but they don't necessarily have a project or necessarily have something ready to, or they don't need the fund, probably they just need feedback. So I think if we see it from the perspective of community building, it's quite relevant because it helps the token engineering community and probably will feedback to us ourselves. So yeah, I don't know. Hence the reason why I. All right.
There's definitely
I think
no harm in suggesting that they be on one of the community call spotlights.
perfect. All right. I think that's pretty much all. There are other points on the agenda that we haven't talked because I will need to discuss it with Jessica. That she already told me she's not gonna be present today, or with anyone from comms, regarding the community call and so on. So we will skip this for today, and that will be all. We will finish 10 minutes earlier today. So